Hello everyone, my name is Sonny. I'm here bringing you my first Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile video. I used to do Dragon Ball Super videos on a different account, but with the lack of a scene in New York, I've come back to playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh back from, I want to say like 2006, 2005, up until 2013, where I took a 7-year hiatus from the game. Started playing it again back this summer, realized how much I missed the game, so I'm back. And so I thought to start this off, because this is going to be on a new channel, I wanted to put out something that was both like casual friendly, budget friendly, but could be turned into something if you decide to put money into it. So the first deck I'm going to be providing here today is Duel Avatar. Now, Duel Avatar is a fusion focused deck that has some strong fusions, but they have to be put together in a sense. So I'm going to give you a rundown of the deck, some of the setups you can do, and hopefully this will pique your interest into both subscribing to this channel, watching future videos, as well as playing Duel Avatar, because it's absolutely fun. So first things first, we have Duel Avatar Fist Yuhi. Now what he does is, once per turn, you can target one monster on the field, one Duel Avatar monster specifically on the field, and destroy it. If you do, search for a Duel Avatar spell card and add it to your hand. If a Duel Avatar monster that was fusion summoned using an effect monster is destroyed by battle or by a card effect, your opponent's card effect, you can add him to your hand, I believe. Yes, he gets added to the hand. So you play 3 of him because him and Feet are very core monsters to the deck. They're used for their 2 big fusions, as well as the smaller fusions, which gain a benefit from using them as fusion materials. Next, you also play Duel Avatar Feet Kokoku. You play 3 of him. When you normal summon him or special summon him, you can add a Duel Avatar trap card from your deck to your hand. Hold on, let me get the thing here correct. When face of Duel Avatar monsters you control is destroyed by a card effect or battle, so that's either players, you can special summon him from the hand. If you do, destroy one Duel Avatar monster you control, and if you do that, you can special summon one Duel Avatar fusion from your extra deck. So these 2 are the core monsters for these decks. You need both of them. Hold on, let me see if I can get a better focus. You need both of them for the fusions, the big fusions, and the smaller ones too, to apply the effect. So that's the 2 core monsters. These are the only 2 monsters that you play that you'll probably ever summon in the deck. So now I just play 3 effect veilers. Like I said, this is going to be a cost-friendly deck. You can get effect veilers for like $1. You can replace effect veiler with Ash Blossom. I just use effect veiler, like I said, because it's a more budget-friendly thing, and I don't want people thinking that this channel is going to be just about money. Like, I have, you know, some stuff that is going to be a little pricey. So I'm going to start off with something like this and have a mix of both casual and semi-competitive. I can't say competitive yet because I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! In a tournament scene just yet, but that's coming. We have 3 effect veilers, negating monsters' effects. You can do it to Verde Anaconda, stop your opponent from going into your goon, which is good because they pay 2,000 life points for a card in your hand, so I'll take it. 3, Duel Avatar Invitation. What this card does is when you play it, you can discard a card from your hand and then special summon up to 5 Duel Avatar tokens, depending on how many open slots you have in your field. Then immediately, you can do 2 fusion summons. Now, one of the favorite things I like to do is if I have both of these, you can fusion summon into both their big forms. Let me show you. So you have Duel Avatar Empowered Kongoyo and Duel Avatar Empowered Mitsujaku. Now, I'm going to go into what they do later, but it's very possible to have both of them on the field at the same time because of this card. Alternatively, you can go for like the smaller fusions. You just set up a board for smaller fusions, and then you can actually use like one of the fusions you make to fuse into another fusion, so it has its on fusion effect, right? That'll be explained more when I go into this. For now, like, this is like the best card in the deck, like hands down. 3 Duel Avatar Defeating Evil. You target one Duel Avatar monster you control and one card on your opponent's side of the field and destroy it. If the monster you destroy was a fusion monster, I believe, a dual avatar fusion monster specifically, you can either draw one card or banish one card from your opponent's graveyard. So you can actually chain this, destroy your fusion, and something on their field, and actually like banish like a monster reborn target, or just draw a card off of it. It's a good replacement effect. It's a quick play, so you can be reactive to some of your opponent's plays as well. You can also just destroy Kokuhu or Yuhi and get the same result without like the extra effect, but you don't lose out on something if your opponent like Dark Holes you or Raigekis you. 3 Perfect Sync Aun. This card is awesome. When you activate it, you search for Kokuhu or Yuhi. Then, if you control a dual avatar monster, you can special summon a token. Now, this is important for Yuhi specifically, because if you search for him, normal summon him, activate the field, get your token. Now you can search for a dual avatar invitation, right? Or you can use the token with dual avatar defeating evil and pop a card in your opponent's side of the field. So, like, Perfect Sync is like one of my favorite field cards currently. Like, it has a lot of multi-use, and multi-use cards is always, a utility to have in Yu-Gi-Oh! 3 fusion deployments. Now, this is probably going to be the only card that's a little pricey for this kind of deck, considering that I'm trying to keep this on the cheaper side for you guys. What this does is you reveal a fusion from your extra deck, special summon a monster listed on that. So previously, before Blazing Overload, you could only do this with Yuhi, because this was the only fusion that existed for him that had his name specifically. Now with the Mitsujaku, you can also search for Kokuhu as well. So it's just to get a monster out. It's a search. It gets you one of the key components for your deck, and that's important. So 3 of these I feel like is essential for the deck, despite me trying to be on the cheaper side here. So I play 3 supply squads, mainly because with Yuhi, with dual avatar defeating evil, you're going to be destroying your monsters with your own effects. So you can actually plus off of that. Your fusion monsters are going to get destroyed by your opponent's card effects and stuff. So it's just a nice way to keep a flow of cards coming, because you're going to lose your hand kind of early if you play this card. So it's a good way of regaining some of the cards you lost, like in terms of card advantage. 3 Pot of Desires. Now, normally these would be 3 Pot of Prosperities. However, like I said, this is a more budget-friendly deck. So you just banish 10 cards from the top of your deck, draw 2 cards. You're probably not going to play more than one of these, but I do play 3, so that way I make sure I have it. Any other one can be discarded with this card. And then we just have some staple cards. Reinforcement of the Army. They're both warriors, so why not? Terraforming to get your Aun, which gives you another search, so it's deck thinning. And Monster Reborn, because you can bring back fusions with it, and of course your 2 main monsters to fuse with. Let me pull this up real quick. Alright, now to the trap cards. 1 Dual Avatar Return. It lets you special summon a dual avatar monster from your graveyard. If it's a level 4 or lower, you can special summon a token. It's not really amazing. It's good in certain situations, but I feel like 1 is like enough for this. 3 Dual Avatar Ascendants. So its first effect, target 1 dual avatar monster you control, destroy it, and if you do special summon a dual avatar monster from your deck or extra deck, this is good to kind of set up a board in a sense. So like, it has to be 1 level lower or higher, right? So if I summon, like, let's say him, who's a 6-star, I can blow him up and then bring out this, which is a 7-star with a higher defense. So it just lets you play around with the numbers. It has a secondary effect that says, during the main phase, except during the turn that is sent to the graveyard, you banish it, take a dual avatar monster, put it back from your graveyard to your hand. So, the recursion is always good, because it lets you reuse cards, and important ones at that. 3 Dual Avatar Compact. This card lets you copy any spell or trap that says Dual Avatar. As long as you banish it from the graveyard, you can only use it once per turn. So you're probably going to use this on defeating evil and invitation multiple times. Just remember, dual invitations affect like where you have to discard a card. Well, this is not discarded. Send a card from your hand to the graveyard. It's not a cost. So if you do use this to copy invitation, you still have to send a card from your hand to the graveyard. But this is good for multi-use purposes. And then just 3 Solemn Strikes. You can get these common. It's a very affordable card. It's good to stop stuff like Ash Blossom. Won't kill Dragoon, but you might be able to save yourself into like bumping him, right? Yeah, I mean, Solemn Strike is a really good card overall. Now we're gonna get into the fusions. So We're playing 3 Dual Avatar Empowered Kongoyo. This is one of the ones that require Yuhi specifically. So what he does is, when he battles, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects until the end of the damage step. If he attacks after damage calculation, you can return one monster your opponent controls to your hand. Well, to their hand. Now, this is important because this actually gets around Dragoon, right? So he has 3,000 power. That effect does not target. So he's a direct answer to Dragoon. So if you're able to bait that or have a Solemn Strike to negate Dragoon trying to negate him, you're going to be able to deal with that Dragoon, right? His second effect only works if you have 2 or more fusion summoned fusion monsters. When your opponent's spell or trap card or effect is activated that targets this card on the field while you control another fusion monster, you can negate the activation. So that effect you can only use once per turn. So we played 3 of him. This card's extraordinarily cheap. It might be less than $1 at this point. But it's a really strong card, strong contender for this deck to be like, you know, your go-to fusion. 3 Dual Avatar Mitsujaku. So this card is the opposite of him. 3,000 defense, 2,000 attack. The first time each Dual Avatar fusion monster you control would be destroyed by battle each turn, it is not. Once returned during your main phase, you can return all spell and traps your opponent controls on the field. So it's a free Hate Grenade. No, Giant Grenade. Because it hits everything, not just face down. And with that, like, I think being able to just bounce your opponent's cards back and say, hey, like, you can't react to my attacks or my card effects this turn unless it's a hand trap is pretty strong, right? Now his fusion effect is when a monster effect activates on your opponent's side of the field while you control 2 or more fusion monsters, you can destroy that monster. So, I mean, that effect's kind of at times. Like, granted, for stuff like, let's say a Stratos or something small, it might be good. But overall, it's not horrible, but it's not, like, amazing. I just really like him for the bounce effect and the battle protection effect. Also playing 3 Dual Avatar, Armored Goyo. When he's special summoned, you can target 1 attack position monster your opponent controls and destroy it. He can't attack directly during the turn you activate that, so it's just a free board clear. Well, not free because you got to fuse to bring him out, but you know, it's board clear with a 2100 attack power, which is pretty good. So you can pop this and then attack that. His fusion effect is, while you control a Dual Avatar fusion monster that was fusion summoned with an effect monster's material, this is important. All Dual Avatar fusions you control gain 300 attack and defense. Now, when it comes to that aspect of it, when you use Invitation, you can actually fuse into one of these, blow a card up, and then fuse instantly again, and then bring another one, blow a card up, and then now you have a secondary effect. The same thing applies for the next fusion as well. So this is Dual Avatar Armored Goyo. If a Dual Avatar fusion monster you control would be destroyed by a card effect, you can destroy 1 Dual Avatar monster you control instead. During the main phase, if you control a Dual Avatar monster that was fusion summoned using an effect monster as a material, you can target 1 face-up special summon monster from the extra deck and negate its effects until the end of the turn. So he's kind of at 2. He has good defense. It's like 2100, so the opposite of Goyo. But you know, it's good to have these options, especially when you have Dual Avatar Ascendants, for example. Like, 2100 defense is terrible. This is, in my opinion, the weakest of the bunch. But I could be wrong, right? So, this is the 3 cards you're going to see here are specifically for dealing with Dogmatica, because that deck is stupid. And attacking your opponent's extra deck is very rude. So, this is Elder Entity Ensis. The main effect you want from this is if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 card and field, destroy it. So that's all I really use it for. The previous effect is kind of like pointless with this deck because I'm never going to summon her correctly. We're playing a Cyber Dragon Nova. It says, and again, this is for the last effect of his. It says, if this card is in your possession, it's sent to the graveyard by your opponent's card effect, special summon 1 machine type fusion monster from your extra deck, and that's where Makaba comes in. Makaba gets brought out by Cyber Dragon Nova. Makaba says if your opponent activates a card, you can discard a card of the same type, so monster, spell, trap, and negate the effect and banish the card. So this is really just to deal with Dogmatica should you come up against that matchup. So there are a few things that you could change. Like I said, if you want to play a more pricier version of this, obviously these can be Ash Blossoms. These can be Pot of Extravagance or Desire. I mean, not Desires, Prosperity. I would say Prosperity is better because you can choose what cards come out of your extra deck. But you play so many extras that Extravagance might be as good as well. Other than that, I probably wouldn't know what to change without like having to really try and make this competitive. Like I said, this is a very good, fun budget deck. Alright, so with that being said, this is the first of hopefully many videos I'll be putting up. Sorry for the slight pauses and stuff. It's been a long time since I've done this. I want to say more than a year now. So, yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you liked what you saw. Leave a like, subscribe, send this to a friend. And let's hopefully grow a nice community here. You know, I'm looking out for everybody. When I say the small guy, the big guy, everything's going to be semi-competitive or budget-friendly. I'll be sure to label that in the videos. So once again, thank you.